The brain cell computer. In late 2023, a group of scientists at the University of Melbourne did something that, not long ago, would have sounded like science fiction. They connected living human brain cells to a silicon computer chip. They called their creation DishBrain, a tiny system of biological neurons living and interacting with digital code. And for the first time in history, a cluster of living human cells learned to play a video game, Pong. At first glance, it might sound like a laboratory curiosity, a strange mix of biology and technology. But in reality, it could be one of the most profound moments in the history of science. For decades, computers have been trying to imitate the human brain. From simple logic circuits to the complex neural networks that now power artificial intelligence, we've been inspired by biology, but we've never merged with it. Until now. Inside the lab, the DishBrain isn't much to look at. It's a small dish filled with a nutrient solution where thousands of neurons, living brain cells, float and connect. These neurons are alive, they communicate with each other using electrical impulses, just like in the human brain. And when scientists connected electrodes to the dish, they realized they could send information to the neurons and receive responses from them. That was the beginning of something entirely new, a biological computer. The idea was simple but revolutionary. They projected the classic game Pong onto a digital interface that interacted with the neurons. When the ball moved, the neurons received electric signals representing its position. Over time, the neural network inside the dish started to change its firing patterns, adjusting its responses to hit the ball. In other words, it learned. Not by lines of code, not by artificial intelligence, but by genuine biological learning, in real time. This tiny living computer doesn't have a face, a consciousness, or thoughts as we know them. But it reacts, adapts, and evolves according to feedback. And that's the essence of intelligence. For researchers, the implications are massive. What if biological computers could process information more efficiently than silicon-based machines? What if neurons could solve problems that digital algorithms struggle with, like creativity, intuition, or emotional understanding? For decades, scientists have measured progress in computing by speed, how fast a chip can process data. But neurons don't work like that. They're slower, yes, but infinitely more complex. Each cell can form thousands of connections, reorganizing itself constantly, adapting to new patterns. A neuron is not just a switch. It's a living system. When thousands of them connect, something extraordinary happens, emergence. A network that learns by being alive. That's why DishBrain matters. It's not just a new experiment, it's a new frontier, a bridge between biology and machine. A reminder that intelligence might not belong exclusively to humans or to machines, but to the interaction between them. The researchers behind the project believe that one day, hybrid systems could revolutionize computing. Imagine AI that's not only trained on data but feels feedback through living tissue. Imagine prosthetics that merge seamlessly with the brain, or brain-inspired chips that can repair themselves after damage. It's both thrilling and unsettling. Because when machines begin to think biologically, and biology begins to compute like machines, the lines between life and code start to blur. Are we creating tools, or new forms of life? Where does consciousness begin, and where does it end? We don't yet know the answers. But the moment those brain cells learned to play Pong, the story of computing changed forever. DishBrain may be small, but like the first spark that started the digital age, it may grow into something we can't yet imagine. The experiment doesn't just teach us about neurons. It teaches us about ourselves. In the end, perhaps the most remarkable thing isn't that a brain learned to play a game. It's that life, in any form, always finds a way to learn.